Hello, Merry Christmas. Welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is absolutely time for Pet Parade. We're going to start with Skittles. Come here, buddy. And Skittles wants to thank everybody for all of their good wishes and his speedy recovery. He absolutely attributes to all of the love and support that he got. And he thanks you very, very much. He's recovering really well from his surgery. And he's looking forward to opening his stocking on Christmas morning. Thank you. Good boy. Okay. I'm going to put you down. Careful, careful. There you go. And his sister, Tika, she says, you know, that brother of mine has gotten an awful lot of attention lately, and I don't think it's absolutely fair. But she says, I too wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I'm also looking forward to Christmas morning because that Santa, he always puts something really good in my stocking. All right. Let's take the newest arrival. Come here, little you. This is Nova. He is, I think he's 13 weeks old. He'll be 14 weeks old on Wednesday. Don't ya? He's settling in really nicely. He's a happy kitty. He likes being here. And he's just as cute as a button. He's not actually loving the ribbons. They make him a little crazy. Okay, say goodbye. There you go. Okay. Atticus. Well, Atticus has turned into kind of a big fluffy cat, haven't you? Yeah. Are you going to say hello to all the people? Yeah? Yeah. Good boy. Okay. There you go. Say Merry Christmas. Atticus, work with me here. Say Merry Christmas. Okay. And here comes the rock star. Come here, buddy. Oh, there we go. There's Jerry. He says, it's Christmas. They put these dumb ribbons on me. I can't really stop them from doing it because I don't have opposable thumbs. From mine to yours, we all wish you a Merry, Merry Christmas. Okay, so secret behind the scenes, Nova and Jerry, they're not getting along so good. I think Jerry thinks that Nova's stealing his thunder. Anyways, from mine to yours, I wish you a Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I thank you ever so much for all of the good wishes that you have sent to me and my family and my fur creatures. And I feel very blessed and very honored that you let me come into your life on a regular basis. And just pause for a second and we're going to sort out the animals and I'll be right back because I want to take a look at exactly how unhinged Trump has become. So, Soulprint Intuitive Tarot for December 23rd. I hope you enjoyed Pet Parade. For most of you, you probably know that Atticus and Jerry have moved from this house and they've gone with my daughter to her new apartment. And so it's not very often that the 5 animals are all here and intermingling. We're planning on having them here for Christmas morning. You might just want to send a prayer to all of us because I think it's going to be a little bit hectic as Jerry and Atticus try to adjust to Nova, and Nova has pretty much decided he's king of the castle, and so it could get ugly. But anyways, we'll cross that in a couple of mornings. So Trump has gone a little, it's not good. It's not good. So he is, refusing to leave the White House. He wants to do a special counsel to look into voter fraud. Of course, the person he wants to hire is a raging conspiracy theorist. Rudy Giuliani is in big trouble. He's getting investigated all over the place. Southern District of New York apparently is now trying to go after his communications. So that's not looking good for Rudy. And Trump wants martial law, and it's just a mess. So I want to take a look at sort of what's and he's trying to get everybody to not vote the way they're supposed to and the way they should on January 6th. Now, listen, that's something I'm going to be taking a look at probably next week in one of the videos. I'm going to be just drilling down on January 6th and seeing what information I can get. Okay, so this is today's mug. Sometimes being naughty or nice really is a big decision. You never know. Hot chocolate. Okay, come on down. I have a question. And so this is going to be interesting. I'm going to actually combine Trump, Giuliani, and Mitch McConnell, because I want to kind of take a look at the dynamics there. Because, of course, you know, Giuliani is all in. He's going to do whatever for Trump. Mitch McConnell has had enough, and he's encouraging his people already to step back. Don't try to, do anything radical on January 6th. This is the thing, okay? Even if they do, it's not going to work. They don't have the numbers to make it work. So this is just more political theater. And frankly, I think most of the country is sort of done with all of the political nonsense. So let's see what we see, shall we? Trump, Giuliani, McConnell. Trump, Giuliani, McConnell. Trump, Giuliani, McConnell. Interesting, eh? These are the ones that wouldn't move. So you've got the Ace of Wands talking about communications, and you've got the Five of Swords talking about fighting. So that probably says it all, right? There's a lot going on behind. There's a lot of yelling and screaming. And, people who are real sycophants to Trump are having a hard time trying to figure out how to walk the line, like that Mark Meadows guy, who's sort of a little bit all over the map. It's just the energy around Trump is so toxic now that it's not pleasant. Okay, all right. So right now, people are trying to make decisions. Trump is trying to make a decision about how to keep the attention on him, how to keep the momentum going. And he is in an emotional whirlwind, okay? He's sort of drowning, kind of in the crazy, if you will. And you have both the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Cups sitting here. So again, you're talking about very juvenile behavior, attempts that are destined to fail, but they try them anyways. They just keep feeding this fire oxygen. And it's the behavior of spoiled children. And in fact, I probably have just insulted children. But it's just going to be very, very toxic around Trump for the next little while. And the reality is nobody can contain him at this point. He really is like that petulant child, just throwing temper tantrums. I mean, literally, he's throwing himself against the wall and against the floor and into the couch. And he's just, he's so scared. He is so scared right now because emotionally, he knows that he is in trouble. I'm not sure. I got to tell you, I'm not sure exactly how much clarity he has about the depth and the breadth of the trouble. I don't think he actually has wrapped his brain around that, because he is that person who is so used to feeling entitled and frankly so used to getting away with stuff that I don't think he actually has finished absorbing the degree to which he is in trouble. And frankly, the degree to which, people are tired of carrying the load for him. They really, really are. They're feeling like, they sacrificed enough. They've given up enough. Reputations have been ruined. And I think that there's just a feeling that he needs to stop. I wish I knew some of the evangelical people, because then I could tell you who it was. I think maybe Pat Roberts, old gentleman, white hair, evangelical and positive. who I saw him on a bit of an interview this morning, and it was so, manipulative and kind of entertaining the way he phrased things. It was like, Donald Trump was chosen by God. He had a purpose, but now Donald Trump has served his purpose, and his behavior now is not in keeping with, I guess the presidency or perhaps God's will. I'm not sure. But so even in that kind of coddled way, on the one hand, they're perpetuating the story that Trump had a purpose and a mission. And listen, I'm not exactly sure he didn't, but I also think that he was so unhinged that it spiraled out of control very, very quickly. But now, they're saying, it's time for Donald Trump to calm down and settle down. It's time for him to leave the White House. It's time for him to, work with the incoming administration. So even those who were rah, right behind him have started to pull back and say, kind of like, enough's enough, people. You have Bill Barr, no, there's no need for a special counsel. No, there's no need to, investigate Hunter Biden. No, there's no need. So Barr is finally pushing back and saying enough. Of course, he's going to be replaced by somebody in a few days. So who knows, what that's going to bring. Okay. So Giuliani is in more trouble than he realizes. And he's another one who he's gotten so wrapped up in some of this conspiracy stuff that he actually believes it, which is a sort of sad and tragic way and place for Giuliani to be right now. I mean, I'm Canadian. I wasn't in New York, during 9/11 and when he sort of pulled everyone together and he was America's mayor. But my goodness, how fast he has fallen, truly, truly fallen, that he's a laughing stock. He's a legal laughing stock, and he is, in terms of his profession, and he is under investigation now, and that is going to bring him a world of hurt. Make no mistake. This is what's happening now, especially in government. All of those people who saw Trump as their, gravy train, right? They could, hitch on to his coat and be elevated to amazing things. Well, first of all, Trump only lets you hitch on to his coat if it serves his purpose. Be that as it may, obviously some of them didn't figure that out. But they are going to have a very, very hard time justifying their behavior going forward. You can see that Mitch McConnell is already pulling back and saying, enough. Biden is the president-elect. We need to move forward. But you still have that circle around Trump who are trying to block the transition in every single way they can. It's quite appalling. But they're just not willing to quite let go, even though the promise is done. It's over. And they're going to find themselves in a very, very difficult position going forward because, again, as I said before, as more and more information comes out about what went on behind the scenes, they're going to have more and more explaining to do because then it's going to be, listen, you were in the government, you had access to this information, or you heard rumors about it, and you did nothing. You stood silently behind him and saying not a word. And so you literally are a conspirator, a co-conspirator to the illegal activities that the Trump administration behaved in. All the criminal ways, all the things that just were not right, because you stood silently, you have some explaining to do. And I don't think that they're going to be able to explain it very well, because the bottom line is, if you actually could give them some truth serum, what they would say is, well, he was giving me what I wanted, so I didn't really care. And so now what you have is a clear representation of how little they actually do care. So, and Mitch McConnell's going to come under a great deal of fire for that, simply because he's leader of the Senate, and he really, really allowed Trump to get away with everything and anything as long as he got his judges. And so that's going to blow up. And besides, the future for McConnell looks bad. It really, really does. I think he's going to be brought to his knees. I think his career is going to come to an end sooner rather than later. Unfortunately, I think that there's going to be some overseas business dealings, et cetera, that come out that really almost make it impossible for him to continue on. And I would not at all be the least bit surprised if a lot of that, of course, has to do with his wife and the companies that are run out of China associated with her family. So I think that there's a world of trouble coming down on McConnell as time unfolds going forward. And I've said before, I actually don't think he's in very, very good health. And, you know, that may ultimately create a situation where he ends up having to leave office, and then he's no longer in a position to protect and hide a lot of the stuff that they have been, you know, sweeping under the carpet, if you will. So, you know, this is it. You need to be reassured and comforted by the fact that justice is absolutely going to prevail in this situation. No matter what Trump, and by extension Giuliani and that Sidney Powell lawyer lady, no matter what they do, Biden continues to remain the president-elect, and Kamala Harris is the vice president-elect, and they will be inaugurated on January 20th. End of discussion. Legally, they're going to take office, and that's all there is to it. And all of these other antics that are going on really are completely irrelevant. They are political theater. It's as simple as that. Yeah, the White House is going to stand. You know, it really will. The White House will survive this, even though it's a heck of a road going forward. There is so much to be done to fix and repair and try to get things back on track. But it will move ahead. It absolutely is going to move ahead despite all of the limitations and all of the restrictions. So here's Trump. Everything he's trying to do to block that forward movement of the Biden administration, it's just not going to work. I mean, that's the bottom line. So as insane as things get, Trump is not going to win, and he's being abandoned. This is the thing that's really sort of interesting to me about the energy that surrounds him now. And you got to understand, the energy around him is in such a state of flux that sometimes hour by hour, but certainly day by day, while he sort of stays in that same place of kind of a detached reality, the people around him are really they're getting scared. His behavior has become so erratic, and it really does feel like he is being abandoned. I mean, Bill Barr has abandoned him. Mitch McConnell has abandoned him. A lot of Republicans are saying that is enough. And so as he sits by and he watches his fortunes change for the worst, he finds himself powerless to really change course. It's too established. It is what it is, right? I mean, he's created it, and now he can't step away from it. It really is just as simple as that. His behavior is going to continue to become more and more unhinged, more dangerous, because he is not getting any kind of information that is clear or cohesive or the truth. What he's getting is those people telling him, no, 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 this election was stolen from you. And so you need to fight, fight, fight. He's going to ultimately end up with a broken heart. But for right now, he's in that place where he has not given up the fight. You know, judgment has been passed and people want him gone. It's as simple as that. And that's just something he can't wrap his head around. He wants to relive the glory days. He wants to be the illusion, or he wants to stay in the illusion that he, frankly, has kept himself in for the last 4 years. Said it before, it's about the money. Okay. It doesn't matter, frankly, how much people around him try to balance his energy, try to get him to moderate his behavior, you know, how much they try to actually get him to see reality. It's not happening. He is so entrenched in trying to figure out how to keep the presidency that he really, really isn't seeing a whole lot of anything else. Just a whole lot of anything else. All right, I'm just going to, because I'm not getting the kind of clarity I want. I think I tried to stick too many people into the card reading. So I'm going to just do quick, short little card readings on the 3 of them. So let's look at Giuliani first. Rudy Giuliani, Rudy Giuliani, Rudy Giuliani. Oops. Wowzers. This is bad, people. This is bad. The end is coming to the position, I guess I want to say, that he held over the last 4 years. That time frame, that time in his life is really, really, really coming to an end. And as he moves forward, he is going to be in a position where he is incredibly stressed. He is going to be trying to defend himself all kinds of different ways, but justice has had enough with him. The Southern District of New York is going after him. It is an active investigation, they're saying, and it is way more bigger. How's that for great English, people? It is simply more extensive. There's more involved in that investigation than anybody realizes. This is going to go back to Ukraine. This is going to go back to somehow the Trump children. It feels like they're somehow connected. Particularly, I think, Ivanka and Don Jr., and I'm not getting any more clarity on that. I'm just seeing kind of their faces. But there's just stuff, and it's all going to get unearthed. That dark money, all of that stuff that went on behind the scenes, every bit of it is going to end up imploding. And here comes the tower to make sure that everything that was built on that incredibly, incredibly unstable ground is brought to the ground. Over the next little while, and I mean literally from now until 30 days from now, okay? once that inauguration takes place, he is really, really going to find himself living a very, very different reality. I think it's in some ways Trump thinks that Giuliani is going to continue to be his, pro bono lawyer as Trump fights all of this crazy and all of the legal ramifications and implications of what's coming to Trump. He is not going to be able to, I don't think. I think Giuliani is going to be hit deep in his own crazy. He's in trouble, and it doesn't look good for him. I can sure tell you that. Okay, next I want to take a look at McConnell. Tell me about Mitch McConnell. Tell me about Mitch McConnell. Tell me about Mitch McConnell. All right. So whatever health issues he does or doesn't have is almost secondary to the fact that the business dealings between or connecting to him and his wife, whether it was sort of stuff that she did while she was in charge of transportation, and it's going to be amazing because Buttigieg, of course, is taking over that role, and so he is absolutely no dummy at all by a long, long shot. And so I think, again, stuff is going to get found out there. It's not going to look good at all, at all. A lot of dark money, a lot of illegal activities, a lot of stuff that they're really going to have to answer for. Mitch McConnell actually is going to find himself in a place where he is going to be kind of presented with some options, and it doesn't look like he's going to want to take it. It could very well be one of those, listen, I think it's time for you to just quietly, resign, blame your health, do whatever you want, but get the hell out of public life, get out of office. And a lot of it is connected to things that he did for Trump or with Trump, or more importantly, the way he used the Trump presidency to satisfy his own agenda. And you've got the death card coming up here, and a lot of worry and a lot of anxiety. I don't see this ending well for him. There's going to be a great deal of stress and strain around Mitch McConnell, a great deal of stress and strain within the marriage, and a great deal of frankly, just stuff that he's going to have to answer for. And I don't see him emerging from this very dangerous and choppy water in a way that is going to, I guess, serve him well. You know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be really great. All right, let's take a bit of a dive on Trump. I'm going to focus this because I actually want to know, because, I've said for a long time, he's going to go to Mar-a-Lago for Christmas and he may not come back. That is sort of the thing that I've been saying. It feels like energetically, and this is the problem with Trump, is he's become so erratic that what might have been a distinct possibility or reality even a few weeks ago can shift and change rather dramatically, right? Because a card reading tends to give you the most likely case scenario. But when somebody radically changes their thinking on something, then whatever was projected very often, stops kind of being accurate. Sometimes there are broad sweeps that are not going to change almost no matter what you do. But as his mind flits around all of these crazy, crazy schemes, his sort of ideas about moving forward and how he's going to make that work, it's like they're almost becoming more radicalized, if you understand what I'm saying. The people around him who are encouraging him to believe that, in fact, the election was stolen from him, the voting machines, the whatever. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw. So there is a company who supplied the voting machines in California, and the right-wing media has been going after them like crazy, right? You know, they're blaming everything on this one company. Well, this one company has threatened a very large lawsuit against all of them, like Fox, all of those right-wing organizations. I think there's 3 big ones that have really been hammering at this company, and they are going after them for defamation. And it apparently the right-wing behavior is like textbook behavior for defamation. So I think they finally got scared. And there was a little blurb, Lou Dobbs on Fox trying to talk it back. You know, oh, I know I spent weeks saying that this company is corrupt and they're in shenanigans and they've corrupted the election and they swung it in Biden's favor. And there he was saying, so in fact, nothing. There was nothing this company did. It was really pathetic. And Lou Dobbs, who I don't know from a hole in the ground, but he should be ashamed of himself. He really should. These people who had nothing better to do than spout right-wing conspiracies, it is about time that people started hitting them where it hurts the most, and that's in their pocketbook. Trump's current strategy. So as the weeks have unfolded, he really has become more and more convinced that he has a way to fight. And this is the crazy thing about it, right? You're never quite sure if Trump really doesn't believe he lost the election, or he understands he lost the election, but he thinks that he can bluff his way through. It's crazy, the headspace. But he is only talking to lower vibrational energy. He is absolutely dwelling in that lower vibrational energy these days. There's virtually no light around him. There is no vibrancy. The energy around him is fear, it's scared, it's angry, it's volatile. He is feeling abandoned. He is feeling rejected. And all of those things are coming together, and that is why he is latching on. The crazier it is, the more likely he is to believe it, because people are saying what he wants to hear. I now am actually starting to wonder if Trump literally may not need to be forcefully removed from the White House. The way this is looking, he is not going to step down early, because he is not going to want to signal defeat in any way, shape, or form. So maybe Pence will not actually become president for a day or two. There's definitely, he's really becoming entrenched. He really, really feels like he needs to dig his heels in. And this is the other thing, and I've spoken about this before. People are doing a lot of crazy for him because they believe that he's just going to be able to pardon them. But you got to remember all the time, Trump only cares about what's good for him. He only cares about what will work for him, what is going to put him where he wants to be and how he wants to be. And I think people have explained it enough that he now realizes that if he starts pardoning people all over the place, and those, I'm talking about the ones within his inner circle, I still maintain that for the right dollar value, Trump will pardon other people, right? Like, so somebody's going to pay him some money to pardon somebody, he'll probably do that. I really believe that, in my opinion. But that inner circle, I don't know. I think that it's starting to register with him that, in fact, that means that they're going to be able to, they're going to have to, they're going to be compelled to testify against him. And I think that he may very, very well leave a lot of people dangling. You know, this is the thing, right? He knows where the bodies are buried. He knows, he gets it, he understands it. And so the people who were in cahoots with him, the people who have that same information, he is absolutely not going to be at all interested in pardoning them, understanding perhaps finally that that means that they are going to be compelled to testify. And there's so much legal stuff going on around Trump, it's really going to put him in an incredibly precarious position. Yeah. Yeah, he's getting more and more concerned actually about the legal ramifications for him. And when news came out that Giuliani, that case is active, and they're going to start trying to get his communications. Now, listen, anything that went on between Trump and Giuliani would probably be covered overturning a client privilege. But I think that there's a whole lot of other communications, like people like that Russian gentleman who was like creating and then feeding Giuliani all the information, all the bold-faced lies. That's not going to be covered, I would think. And so there's going to be information coming out. And the reality is as Trump sees this, it's really, really starting to shake him up. Bill Barr leaving, same thing. He may think he did a good job, but again, Trump never ever thinks about the consequences of his actions. And he doesn't realize that that also is going to end up backfiring in his face. Not because, Barr is some paragon of virtue, but because it feels like Barr, I don't think he's going to be loud and talking a lot, but it definitely feels like he is going to be putting information out there quietly about really what is not a viable investigation, that kind of stuff. Yeah, here comes the judgment, boy, oh boy, oh boy. Wow, judgment and the Four of Swords. This is not good at all. It definitely looks like Trump is going to be in some rather significant trouble. And all that support, all those people who were feeding his ego, that comes to a halt. It really, really does. And when those lights start shining on Trump and his behavior, look, there's that dark money coming through again. And fighting and scrapping and all of it. So, wow. I don't think any of them are going to have a good Christmas, frankly. I mean, it's a really, really tricky situation what's going on there right now. But I want you to remember that a lot of this is just political theater. Don't kind of get wrapped around the axle about it, okay? It's going to be dissipating as we move. Once the inauguration takes place, it's going to dissipate. Between now and then, buckle up. Just buckle up. Okay, so this is the last video I'm doing before Christmas. I will be back next week with 2 videos for tarot and a video for the Insights channel. For anybody who has not done the shamanic fire ritual, I encourage you to take a peek at that. It's also, New Year's is also a really great time to do that. And perhaps you might want to repeat the saging of the White House if you have some time over the next week, 10 days, that kind of thing. Okay, so from my heart, I thank you so, so much for your generosity. The donations have been amazing, and I'm so grateful for them. Thank you. The support that you have given both my channels is unbelievably incredible. The comments, the thumbs up, the subscriptions, all of it has really been very heartwarming for me. It's been very rewarding for me. And I have loved the almost 3 years I have been with you guys. So I wish you the very, very best of the Christmas season. I wish you blessings in abundance, joy in abundance, peace and happiness. Have a fabulous, fabulous Christmas. And I'll see you next week. Take care. Be well. Bye-bye.